Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, you know what? I thought it might be fun to take a look at some of the things that we were predicting would happen during the pandemic and what a lot of expectations became when the cruise industry was about to restart. And let's see how many we actually got right. Number one, a big one we all thought was going to happen. Cruising will start by the holidays. And by the holidays, we meant Christmas. Remember back when we knew that the no sail order was going to end in October? And we all said, okay, they're going to be forced to sit down and say that the cruise industry can restart. And they're going to come up with some solutions. And they're going to get the ships ready. And we think we'll be seeing paying passengers back in the ocean for the holidays, for Christmas cruises and New Year's cruises. And yeah, boy, nothing was further from the truth. We didn't even get a hint or a taste of even starting test cruises until back in March. So yeah, we got that really wrong. Number two, Florida will lead the way back to cruising. Florida will be the first cruise ports to open up, and we're going to start sailing, and we're going to prove to the rest of the world that cruising is safe. And look at it, and yeah, no, in fact, cruising still hasn't started in Florida. They booked it. There's supposed to be cruises. I think 11 days from now, there's supposed to be the Celebrity Edge setting sail out of Florida. We still don't know what's going on. There's still fights. There's still arguments. There's still uncertainty. And a lot of people are not willing to put their money up right now because they have no idea what's going to happen. They're not, are they going to get to the cruise port and the state government's going to be there saying, nope, you're asking for vaccines, shut it down. We don't know. We have no idea what's going on. So yeah. Unfortunately, Florida didn't start the cruise industry back. In fact, there's more clarity opening Seattle to Alaska than there is in clarity opening the #1 cruise destination in the world, ports, Florida. We know there's been cruising in Asia. We know there's been cruising in Southampton now. We know there's been cruising in Italy. There's been cruising in other places. And we haven't started here in North America, especially the largest cruise port in the world. Who'd have thought that would ever happen? Number three, no one will ever book an inside cabin again. In fact, cruise ships will probably make cruise ships without inside cabins. But no, as a travel agent, I can tell you, people are booking those inside cabins, especially for long cruises that would be very expensive to have a balcony, or those cruises that really aren't very scenic, that would have like the same look all the time. A lot of people think that way for transatlantics and trans-Pacific cruises, things like that, or cruises out to Hawaii. When you're in Hawaii, it's beautiful and everything, but the 4 days to get there, not so much. It's just the ocean, and so people quite often choose to save money. And as far as building inside cabins, there's always going to be a market because the price difference is substantial. And when you charge the cost of 2 people in a room, even if you're a solo cruiser on most cruise lines, booking an inside cabin is sometimes the only way to go. And as an agent, I can tell you people are booking inside cabins left and right when they're planning to go back. So that did not become a thing. The fourth thing people started to predict was remember when the cruise ships started selling off their older ships? The ships that weren't very profitable anymore, and this is a way that they used to raise money and cut back the crew and reestablish the crew on other ships. A lot of people started saying, you know what? Gone are the days of the large cruise ship. We're not going to see cruise lines starting to build big ships anymore. They're going to have to go to smaller ships and keep the passenger levels low. People won't feel comfortable going on large ships anymore. Well, we're not sure about that part of it, but we're definitely sure that they're still building large ships. I mean, the Iona just came out, and she's the largest ship that P&O ever had. We have the Mardi Gras just landed in port, and she's the largest ship Carnival's ever had. The Wonder of the Seas has been built. They just announced the Prima for Norwegian Cruise Line. That hasn't been started to be built yet, but it's a large ship, and they announced, here we go, we're building that. And then the Royal Caribbean says the Icon class is coming next, another large cruise ship. So cruise lines aren't getting away from the large cruise ships because they can provide a lot of entertainment, a ton of people in the same amount of cruise, and it's not as, a lot of people, well, it's a giant ship and everything, yeah, but if you can put triple the amount of people on it, even if it costs you double to run the ship, you're still making more money. So they're sailing with more passengers and more chances of making money. If a cruise of 2,000 people is only going to spend so much money. 6,000 on the same cruise, the same destination, will spend much more money. And so, the more people you can get on a cruise and still comfortably and provide entertainment, dining, and destinations, people are going to go. And the cruise ships, they're going to build them. And number 5 is, no one was going to predict that I was going to say, hey, why don't you subscribe to the channel? If you haven't already, why not hit that little notification button, hit the subscribe button, join the community as we get ready to open. I booked 8 cruises in the last 5 days, so you're going to see a lot of cruise videos coming up in the next little while, and I'm going to try and show you all the ships, especially the new ones, as soon as I can. So yeah, why not hit that little subscribe button? I bet you didn't see that one coming. Okay, the real number 5. The real number 5 now is no more buffets. Buffets are gone. We'll never see buffets again. Buffets right now are a little different. A lot of places, you're going to have the servers there. You're going to walk in line and they'll serve you. There's family style buffets now where you can order what you want, still the same amount of food, but you order it from your table and the waiters will bring it to you, which is kind of like just a restaurant. But cruise lines have already said that once the vaccines are here and the cruise lines are sailing with vaccinated passengers and we go a while and the pandemic goes down, that they are going to return to you being able to serve buffets. And the reason for that is, you get your own food. The reason for that is it feeds so many people. So many people not only enjoy the buffet because there's a wide assortment and everyone can find something they like, no matter what, right? In the main dining room, you might be given 4 or 5 choices, and if you don't happen to like it, you're out of luck. But in the buffet, there's hundreds of choices often, and so people can always find what they want. And the lines and the people on the pack, it just feeds tons and tons of people at various times a day. So instead of only being fed at a certain time of day, you can wander around, from say 11 o'clock on till 2:30 in the afternoon is when you can schedule your lunch, as opposed to keeping the main dining rooms open where they have to serve everybody, bring those plates off, clean off the plates and clean off the tables and then reset everything for dinner. It's a lot of work and a lot of manpower to do that. Where buffets, it's like a crowd sink where it just soaks up the crowd and then disperses them, and it's so much more convenient for the cruise lines to have a good large buffet. The people like it. The food is available almost all day, and absolutely they will bring them back. They absolutely will, as soon as they can. Number 6, when cruising starts, it's going to be only cruises to nowhere. They're not going to go to any ports. A lot of people thought that, and we thought that not too long ago. We even said, let us start by cruising to nowhere. Let us go someplace out to the ocean, sail for 5 days and come back. If that's what we need to do to prove that cruising is okay to do, CDC, we will gladly do that. But luckily or unluckily, it's taking a long time for the cruise industry to be able to get going, and now the cruise ports are hungry for us to return in a lot of cases. Look at Alaska. Alaska was actually, lobbying Congress and everything to get cruise ships to their ports. So there's a lot of places that absolutely rely on the cruise ships. They need the tourism dollar, and they are begging them to come back. And so, yeah, we're not sailing to nowhere on most ships. We're sailing to destinations now. And as cruise lines go and less incidents happen, you're going to see more and more and more cruise ports welcoming guests. Number 7, this one is a very happy one I'm glad to see. And that was cruise prices are going to skyrocket. Cruise pricing is going to go through the roof. And luckily, we haven't really seen that, especially when you're booking next year or 2023. The prices are right in line with what they used to be on most ships. You're going to see the new ships like the Odyssey of the Seas. The pricing is up there a little bit, but that's not unusual for a brand new ship, right? Especially the first few sailings of a brand new ship. So I imagine those prices will come back down to more reasonable. And look at the Scarlet Lady. Virgin pricing before, I just looked at it and said, you're crazy. There's no way I'm booking a cruise on your ship. For the cabins that you're offering me, it's like double, almost triple what I can go on almost any other cruise line here in North America. And now their prices have come down almost in half of what they originally were supposed to do when they started sailing out of Florida. And so we'll probably see those prices stay more reasonable. Prices did not jump through the roof like we were afraid to. And the more and more cruise lines come on, remember the cruise lines want people back. And so pricing their own, enthusiastic people who want to get back out in the ocean, who have been clamoring, like myself, clamoring to get back onto the ocean, they don't want to price us out of being able to go to the point where we're going to find something else to do that we may love as much as cruising. That won't be me, but a casual cruiser, that absolutely might be. You know what? I'm just going to do an all-inclusive, I guess, because I can always depend that they're going to be there. All right, but they're not going to price themselves out of the market. And don't forget, they got to compete with each other still. The cruise lines are still competing with each other. So if one cruise line said, yeah, you know what, that $1,000 cabin, I'm going to make it $1,300. Well, this cruise line's going to go, yeah, well, $1,000 cabin, I'm going to make it $900. And everyone's going to cruise on that cruise line, and that one's going to lose money. So yeah, luckily, prices have not gone through the roof. Finally, number 8 is a big one. A lot of people were saying, no one will ever want to cruise again. And luckily, that is completely false. And I can say that because I have group cruises going next year, all the way from April all the way into October, and the cruise ships themselves are almost completely sold out. Try and book a Prima cruise for its 2023 sailings from Norwegian Cruise Line for their first 4 or 5 sailings, and you'll notice they're almost all gone. There's hardly any cabins left. The Mardi Gras, almost no cabins left in a lot of cases. So yeah, that didn't happen. People who love cruising can't wait, and the longer they made us wait, it just seems like the more we wanted to get out there. In fact, there's more people following the cruise industry now than there ever has been. Everybody's interested in cruising, and they can't wait to get back on the ocean. And I am so glad that that's the case, because I was always going to be that person. I was always going to be that person who wants to get on a cruise ship. And I'm glad there's as many people out there like-minded, like myself, who can't wait as well. And if you're wondering why, if you've never been a cruiser before, if you've never gone on a cruise ship, I challenge you to take one cruise. Just take one cruise and then judge for yourself. Because I know so many people, they get on their very first cruise and they're hooked. They never want to cruise anywhere else again. I have one nephew and his wife, Never been on a cruise, took them on a cruise, and now that's all they do. They plan cruises. They want to go on cruises. So that's their vacations now. My niece, terrified of water, doesn't want to go on a cruise, scared to death, went on a cruise, can't wait to get back on cruise ships again, and she's terrified of the water. So that's how fun and enjoyable cruising can be. And I'm glad everyone out there is starting to see the same things that I see when I talk about the cruise industry and how much I love it. Well, those are 8 things that we got a little wrong. And in a lot of cases, I'm really glad we got them wrong. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.